Hey loves, how y'all doing? It's your lady Queen A. And welcome to Slapping with Truth, where we don't bring nothing but the best of the best from all around the globe. And today we have a lovely life coach here, a lovely physical coach, I would like to say as well. And most importantly, we have a lovely father here. And without further ado, I am going to let Mr. Darrel Stinson introduce himself and let you all know what he does, where he's from, and just tell you all a little bit about himself before we get started.
All right, thank you for that. I'm from Michigan. Detroit is my team. And then of course the Michigan Wolverines. Like you said, I'm a father of three. And funny thing about that is I got a 30-year gap between my oldest child and my youngest child. And that's always
Oh,
something a fun fact that I like to share. Of course, I love them all the same, and man, they just in different ways bring so much joy to my heart. I'm a life coach. I've spent 25 plus years in working in the prison system, and it was a boot camp prison system where I help people only in 90 days go from where they are to where they want to be, set goals, start thinking more of their future self, and stop just saying, you know what, this is what life gave me, and here's where I am. But when I look forward, here's what I could be. And a lot of people don't do that. And I was able to teach them that or get them started within 90 days. So I decided to do life coaching after I retired from the prison. And then I always thought that your physical body helps carry everything else. So I also got trained to be a personal trainer and a group trainer. And so I help people out in the gym also, which most of my life coaching packages include the physical part also. We get them in shape because it helps them with their clarity, their mental focus, and of course, just their overall well-being.
I love it. So, I got to ask, right? Your fun fact you just slapped us with. How did you get that 30-year gap? I mean, because for most people, 30 years, that's a long time because your oldest child is how old now?
36 as of the end of this month. On New Year's Eve, he'll be 36.
And then your next child after him is how old?
10.
10. So now I gotta talk about that for a second.
And then
So
my
how
youngest
does
one is
that feel?
6.
How is that gap for a second? Like how is that going from having a child that's grown and being a father all over again? How is that?
I was reluctant about it. So I had a kid young, and I went to college. I had my kid on my first trip home from college. My oldest child was born, and I did what I could to get to school and do my part, help raising him. And then I graduated college, and I had to actually uh, struggle as I was taking care. I just was out of college, hadn't had a really steady job, not much income built up, and so it was a struggle. And so I was thinking, I wasn't in any rush to have any more kids. Then I got older. That relationship ended with his mom. I got older, and then got back to the dating stuff, and then ended up dating someone who still wanted to have kids. And by the time we decided to go ahead, be serious enough, get married, and then have kids, by the time we actually had kids, it was quite a big gap in between that.
Thank you. So I apologize for that. So
No,
now
that's fine. That's what we're talking about. Those kids are our love, and mhm.
you gotta take care of family first, right? What is it without
Yes,
family?
I
You know.
love that family first for sure.
So now, going back to use that stretch with the youth. Now, before you became a life coach, what were you doing before that? Just kind of give us a background, kind of like what you did before you became a life coach, before you became a physical coach, and all that good stuff.
Before I did that, I was working in the prison system, and it was a
Mm.
90-day boot camp for first-time felons. So there was not really any serious crimes there, but they had a chance to come to this prison and get a reduction in a time. But part of the reduction was to complete a physically hard programs based off the military boot camp. So they had to say yes, sir. They had to be marched places, and it was man, we wake them up from 6:30, 7 o'clock a.m., and they wouldn't go to bed till 9 p.m. And from the time they woke up to the time they went to bed, they were actively doing something. And so we used to make them, do everything. Yes, sir, no, sir. I have them make their bed, fold their clothes, do this, do that, go to class. And then we started to get some evidence-based programming into the system because they did everything per orders. When they got released, they was back into their own environment, the environment that they came from, the environment where they was making the mistakes, but they don't have us there to tell them what to do. So we started getting programming into the system that we could teach them so that even when we're not around, they could learn how to do the right thing, make good decisions, and strive out there, despite of where they were located. And so one of the things that resonated with me was I was from a bad neighborhood, low economic environment, large family without a dad being in the home. And I was able to, get me an education, a job, keep it for 20-something years, and somewhat make a success of myself despite of where I came from. And so I started teaching these guys, hey, if I can do it, you can do it.
Hey, now, but how was the mind frame of that being a prison guard, right? Because you're dealing with felons and all different type of mind frames, and you have some people that's some innocent people, some guilty people, some angry people, some happy people. And so how did you manage to keep yourself confident enough to get your job done without mixing, without mixing the two?
Well, one thing that keeps me confident is when I speak truths. And so when you're speaking the truth about yourself or about what you know, then you tend to be confident because that's what you know. This is what I do. So we're talking about the gym. I done been an athlete all my life. I done did all kind of training, football training, basketball training, track training. You know what I'm saying? I done had physical therapy. I've seen people, go through injury and stuff and the things they did to get back on the field or to the events. And so I know sports and sports injuries. And so when I talk about athletic and stuff, I can tell you what I know because I've done it all the way up to the college level. And had I not hurt myself, I probably would have went to the professional levels. And then when it comes to the life coaching, I base my life coaching based off how I live my life. And basically with my life coaching is I'm just trying to say, if you continue to look forward, if you set goals and you continue to look forward, then you continue to move forward. It's just the way it works. And so when I'm talking to them, I was like, okay, this is where you are. I hear you. So what's next? And then we walk through the next steps and we just constantly move forward.
I love that. I love that. You always look forward. I notice you as you talk, you always look forward. And that's a great thing for, I feel like, anybody to understand is to keep constantly looking forward. And one of the things I also want to point out is that you said that you speak about the truth. You speak about your truth and what you know. And when you speak in the truth and about what you know, I believe personally it makes everything easier, right? When you tell lies about yourself, you got to constantly keep up with it. But if you're telling this truth and you speaking the truth, people can see your passion and things of that nature. Now, but going back, was it a time where you felt like that maybe that you wasn't as confident as you are now? And just give us a little background about maybe why you felt that you wasn't as confident and how you got over that.
Well, one of the things was I was doing my life coaching because of who I am, whether I'm giving advice or trying to have people look at their future self or trying to have people like, man, you can do better. And right now it's just a setback. Here's what you're going through now. And I was doing that. And then when I got my training, even though I learned more, that's when I started saying, now I don't feel as confident. And the reason was because now I'm going from just giving advice that don't cost somebody nothing, just me just trying to look out for them, to where I'm saying, hey, I done been trained, I done paid for this, I done been through months of training, but now I have to charge you because for my time, my effort, and my expertise. And I got trained in multiple courses and programs so that I can actually deliver um, a promise, which is if you work with me, I pretty much promising you, if you do the things I say and you actually put the time and the effort into it, you will get the results. But now I got to charge these people for this. And until I actually got some clients and actually made some progress, I kind of had that imposter syndrome, kind of like, is my advice or my expertise really going to help these people? And now it's not just my free advice, it's me charging them. So I kind of felt at that time a little lack of confidence until I started getting proven results.
Mm. Mm. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that about giving proven results, because you know it matters. And then, like you said, it helps you feel more confident as a life coach, because you want to make sure that the information that you're giving out, you know, is reciprocating, as what the people need. And from what I see, I can clearly see it's what the people need, because you inspire me every time I talk to you. You know, every time I talk to you, or when I see you online, you know, you inspire me. I see you with your children. You're a great father. And I just want to touch on that for a second, especially fathers, because I just want to commend you. We don't have a lot of fathers that I see that's like you. Just kind of talk about what inspires you to be the kind of father that I see you are, and that just kind of like want to make sure that you are a figure in your youth life. Can you just talk about that for like just maybe for some men that may be struggling with how to be confident with being in their youth life and they maybe don't know how to do that?
Well, mine's, we said it, family first. And I'm like, if I man enough to have these kids, I got to be man enough to be in their lives and to provide for them, take care of them, support them like I know a father should. And during my years of growing up, I come from a family of six, and my mom and dad got divorced early. I believe I was only 5 years old. And so my dad was not in the home. And we did spend some summers going to visit with him, but that was about it. But as far as like at my sporting events, at my high school graduation, prom, these were things where my dad was not there to like give me any advice, or he just wasn't really active. I still knew who he was. I could call him when I wanted, but we didn't spend a lot of time together besides the summers and when we went to go visit. And those times were good, but it was more of us reaching out to him and versus him reaching out to us. And so, with that being said, there was times where I was at a game, some kind of event, parent-teacher conference, because my dad stayed far away, parent-teacher conference where my dad was not there. And it was like, so your mom and dad, when they get, and I'm like, my mom, but my dad not coming. My dad won't be showing up, blah, blah, blah. So long story short, what love my dad did show us, which he did, I took that and added to the love that I felt was missing. So I'm at my kids' events. I'm at their parent-teacher conferences. And basically, it's like if my dad had some shortcomings, I try to make sure I filled those in so that my kids wouldn't feel unsupported or unloved in some of the ways that I felt from my relationship with my dad. It wasn't a bad relationship, but it wasn't one that I felt was as loving and supportive as it could have been.
Mm. Let's talk about that for a second. How did you, like, what kind of thoughts went through your head as a young boy that didn't have a father in his life? And how did you keep yourself confident enough to, because as we seeing out here, the reason why I'm asking is what we see out here is the opposite, right? We see a lot of young men that don't have their father in their life. And so it's like in return, they don't be a father figure to their youth. So I commend you on that. And so I just want to know how did it go from your father, okay, well, he's not taking care of me? And I hear you when you say, that you just want to be there, but what kind of thoughts went through your head, and how did you overcome it mentally in your mind? Because that's where it starts at, right before you do the action. So how did you overcome it mentally? Like, what things was going through your mind mentally when your dad wasn't around, and what things did you say to yourself mentally to overcome that in order for you to be the man that you are today?
Okay, I'll give you like the example on parent teacher conference. I did well in school, and I wanted my parents to be there and talk to my teachers and see, hear that my teachers, what they had to say about me. Because I really enjoyed school, and I wanted the teachers that I cared about, because I would do extra credit. I would slide in desks, chairs for the desk, and help pick up after class, just to make my teachers happy. Then, so those people I cared about, because I know teachers, in my belief, are there for my interests. They there to try to teach me how to read, write, and et cetera, right? And then my parents are there for my best interest. My parents, as a parent, they want the kids to grow up and be the best that they can be. And where I was taught, I want to teach my kids to be better off than I was. Smarter, stronger, have more money, et cetera, et cetera. I want them to be more well off than I was. And so anyway, this was a time where with school, parent teacher conference, I wanted my dad there. And I knew he couldn't be, so it wasn't like he's a bad dad, just wasn't showing up but he stayed far away. I didn't expect him to come, but I wish he could have been there. At some of my sporting events, when I'm scoring touchdowns, winning races in track, or scoring points on a basketball court, I kind of wanted to share with my dad. So there's times where I would call him like, yeah, I did this many points, or this is what happened. I scored some touchdowns. And even though he's like, that's good. But it's always over a phone call, and he wasn't physically there. So in my mind, I was saying, I understand my dad can't be there. And my mom couldn't be there certain times because she's a single parent. She's trying to pay the bills, so she can't be at every event. But she showed up some. But I said, I want to be in a position that when I get older and have kids, I'm going to be in the stands. So when my kids look up, they're going to see me in the stands. And when there's a parent-teacher conference, I'm going to be there discussing my kids' behavior and grades and with the teacher. And it's just whatever I felt was lacking, I wanted to make sure I did for my kids.
I love that. I love that you said one thing that stood out to me was you said that the physical wasn't there. Like he was there, like maybe it was over a phone call, but you was missing that physical in person. Can you speak to that? How important do you feel that is for whether it was a mother, a father, a grandmother, anybody to show up? Because people can say they love you. People can say a lot of things over a phone call, right? But how important do you think it is, even more so, to show it in person?
Man, it makes a huge difference, and it's different for circumstances. So, like for instance, my dad was far away. I didn't expect him to be there, but had he been close, I would have expected him to be there. Definitely wanted him to be there a lot more. But there's a feeling you get when someone is there in person that you don't get when they're not. And if you had a phone call and somebody said, I will be there, when they don't show, you can't, for me, there's a certain part of me that, of happiness that leaves the minute I realize that they're not going to be there and they're not showing up, especially after they said they was going to be there. And there's times where I have known from visiting people in the hospital, we call, hey, I hope you're doing all right. Let me know if you need anything. You want me to come see you? And they're like, no, I'm okay, I'm fine. And then you go show up anyway. And the difference that makes when you're there in person. Even though you support her with the phone calls or whatever, even FaceTime is better than just a regular phone call. And I got my oldest kid, he's staying far away now. He stays over in Tennessee. And sometimes we call and talk, but for birthdays and like a holiday or something that we're not going to be together, the FaceTime and to see them and the laughter and they smile is something even better than just a phone call. So in person, it's the best. And then we just go from there with FaceTimes or emails or some kind of way we reach out for, even if it's just a phone call. But in person, that presence it makes a huge difference. It's a level of comfort, and I highly recommend that if you can be in somebody's life and present, that you find a way to be in their life and be present.
I love that. And there's a life coach and there's a physical what y'all call that? Is that called a
Personal
fitness
trainer.
coach? Personal trainer. Thank you. I'm like, I gotta get the correct word for that. So as a personal trainer and a life coach, how do you feel that that same rule applies? That you should always try to connect with your client in person instead of just always online, or do you think that is different?
No, no, it's definitely different. When I go in person, so I have a couple that I work out with personally. I'm there with them. I'm showing them, I'm spotting them. And then I have a couple that I kind of send information to workouts with. I even will videotape. Here's what I'm talking about when I say do a reduced push up or incline press. And they like, incline press, you mean, and so some clarity I make videos, but still with most of the people that I have in personal, like just over the phone or through video chats that I have the training with, we meet once a month. And then when we meet in person, it's a clarity and it's a feeling of me actually seeing them doing the workout and them being instructed by me on how to do it right or how to reps and what I mean when I say, hey, you need to pause because they like this. I pause and then I go, I say, that's not a normal pause. And then I kind of can show them the slight pause as they working out that they should do. And then the breathing, I'm like, you should be breathing. And so to be in person, it definitely makes a huge difference. And sometimes, like when I do it in person, now they understand, and then that makes it okay for me to still continue with the online and stuff and to give them. But every so often, we have to meet in person so we clear on everything and we can actually measure and see progress.
Mm, I agree. I agree. I couldn't have said it no better than that. So I thank you for that. Now moving, we was back there. Let's move forward a little bit. Now what I just want to know what inspired you to become a life coach.
The inspiration came basically from overall, I've been since I'm young, I always try to help people do better. All my friends, as we do stuff, like if we was running track and I was beating them, I'm like, well, here's how I work on my starts. And then like, you should be racing more often and try to race people faster. I'm always trying to give advice. With my kids, my older kid, as he was growing up, I taught them things. So when their friends came by from even playing video games, they playing video game, they moving their hand like this. I'm like, hold it still and like that. We go bowling. My son and my nephew, I raised my nephew too, for a good part of his life. And when we go bowling, I taught them how to bowl and look at the arrows and not down at the pins, and it helps you. And then to have your arm follow through, you hold your hand like this and not like this. And I was teaching them all kinds of things. So when their friends go, their friends can't even get 100, and my son nephew is easily getting over 100 and beating them. So then I started helping their friends. They was like, you always got to help people. I was like, you just don't want me to help them so they won't beat you. So even growing up, I have always tried to help people. And it just wasn't so deliberate as it is now that I've been coached and trained. Because back in the day, I did a lot of advice and I did a lot of this is what you should do. And I would kind of have them maybe do what I think they should do or advise them to do what I think they should do. And with the life coaching, I learned that it's more about listening and then guiding them so that they can come up with the idea like, you're right, I am overweight and I should do these things to lose weight. I didn't give them advice. I just worked with them till they figured it out. Same thing with the financial part of it. Like I know I'm spending more money than I should be spending. I haven't been budgeting, and I let them. I know that, but I don't tell them that. I go, well, what do you think your financial flaws and downfalls might be? And then let them come up with the answer. It's so much more effective. So I'm so much more intentional about the way I help people now and the way I can do it. And yeah, it's been very inspiring to be in that position. And that was my motivation because I was already doing it. Now I'm trained to do it and I have more tools to provide.
That's it is I could tell that you've been inspiring people for a long time. So for those that might not know, we actually met. I actually got to meet the life coach himself in person in New York. And let me just tell you, he is just as amazing in person as he is online. I must say that I have never met this man before, but when I seen this king in New York, I forgot what I think the food, the money, I forgot what it was, but he had some food. No, I couldn't eat it because it wasn't they didn't have what I ate. And he actually offered me his food and, and everything and got me some stuff. And it was just amazing. And I just want to say that was before I even knew how much more he was amazing online. Like when I see you online, I'm like, man, this man is like really like Superman, y'all. I just really tell y'all, it's amazing. And I see him all the time with his youth. And I want to talk to you about that. Like, how do you make time to be with your youth? Because as a life coach, as a personal trainer, we know that's a lot of time. Where for some people would say it's a lot of time. How do you feel that time is something that we make, that you have to make it, or do you feel that like how people, or maybe you might not have enough time? So let's say that when it comes to making time to be spent with your youth.
I'm sorry, I gotta remove this layer. I just came from outside. Over here in Michigan, it's freezing. And now that I'm here and on the podcast, and I wanted to make sure I got here on time, so I just came and got logged in. But so as far as time goes, it's all about time management and it's about work-life balance. Because I make sure that I'm scheduling myself within a realistic scheduling thing. So instead of me picking up client after client after client, trying to get all this money and worry about that, I'm like, I'm gonna have so many clients for life coaching. I'm gonna have so many clients for personal training. That way I still have time for myself, I still have time for my friends, and I still have time for my family. And so I get into it, and I actually, part of my life coaching is to help others recognize the work-life balance. Because we all get the same 24 hours in a day, and then some don't have time for some of the things that they should have time for. That's including kids, and that's including their physical health. That's including eating a balanced meal. So you got time to eat bad, but you'll have time to eat good. I understand that.
I like that.
You got time to watch TV, but you don't have time to play a game or listen to your child read a book on your lap or something. I'm like, we need to think about this. And so work-life balance is huge. And when they start to learn how to manage that and be more effective with their time and sort it out with the things that they feel is important. So yeah, work-life balance is crucial and it's the key.
And that sums up where we going next. Work, life, and balance. It's so important. And like I said, I've been stressing that it's important to you. Now, one of the things that you shared was that 2025, right? The biggest failure story, which is now like you laugh at it, it's funny to you now, is your divorce that you went through, right? Now, can you just talk to us about that for a minute? Why you feel like it was the funniest failure story and why you now laugh at it?
Well, it was unwanted on my part. And so because I'm a life coach, because I been considered like you're such a nicest guy, you are a great guy and stuff. That's how that's my identity. And so for my wife to say she no longer wants to be with me, I felt like I felt as a husband, as a parent, and as a life coach. I mean, what life coach can't stay married? And so I felt like it was such a failure. And then it was kind of like some as I'm sorting through it, and it's kind of like they're just people that's in your life that's only there uh, to go on your journey with you to a certain part or a certain amount of time. And then as you are trying to continue with your journey, you may have to let them branch off because they're not meant for the rest of the journey and the things that you're doing. And I knew I wanted to life coach. I knew I was ready to retire. I was able to retire. I knew that I would enjoy. I mean, I worked in the prison system, and it done me well as far as helping me learn some things, helping me with some structure in my life, uh, providing for my family and stuff. But then now I'm saying there's more that I would want to do. And after I helped so many prisoners, which was fine, but I was like, I kind of want to be able to be in a position where I can help people outside the prison system, people before they actually start ruining their lives and heading towards prison life. And so I've been able to speak in schools and elementary schools and high schools and go to certain events where I've been able to speak. I done some volunteer work with Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and they look so forward to outside people and people coming in and showing them that there is a good life out there. It's not all about being rich. It's more so about finding things that you love to do and finding happiness. And I'm so happy to do life coaching. And so one of my life coaching persons said some of the things that they have been doing, and one of them is exercising at work. Now there are people that have taken notice, and he said he got about 3 to 4 people that are actually saying, you know what? Every hour and an hour, push-up time. Every hour and an hour, time for me to do my 20 jumping jacks. Here go the next hour, and they would go walk up a couple of flights of stairs back and then get back to work. And he said, man, it's helping with our focus. It's helping us stay motivated. I don't even, normally I would go get me a cup of coffee. I'm not even going to get a cup of coffee because the exercise I've been doing is my motivation. And so instead of a cup of coffee, I go walk a flight of stairs, come on back and get right back at it. It's like a quick little break. And then I'm back focused. And he said, man, it's been helping physically and professionally on the work level. But the thing about it is, when he told me that's also helping other people in this office, that kind of joy makes me happy because it's kind of like that each one teach one. I showed him now he's spreading that positive energy in his workplace. Now I have never even met these people.
That's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
That's powerful. Now, how do you stay confident enough to take a leap when your wife is not excited about you taking that leap? Like, tell us about kind of like for anybody that may be going through that, because I know for me as a queen, right, I went through that. Like I shared with you, I went through the same thing. I had to step out, and that's why I got my shirt on, walking in faith, right? But I had to walk in faith and just step out and believe what was great for me. I knew what was healthy for me mentally, physically, and spiritually. And I want to talk to you about, as a man, because I could talk all day about for a woman, what it takes. But I want to talk about from a man's point of view. What kept you confident enough to say, well, or how did you make the decision that you were still going to walk out into your faith, even when your wife wasn't excited about the decision?
Well, that was kind of like a catch because she, I thought, was on the same page as me. So when it was time for me to retire, I had to sign my papers, and she signed the papers too. Since I was retiring, we was like, well, she'd still be working, so I switched to her insurance. when I was saying, this is what I want to do when I retire. I want to be a life coach. Well, she supported me doing the training. And when I did my life coaching, she helped me study the life coaching material. So I thought we was on the same page. I thought she was okay with it. And until after I divorced, then she decided, like, I'm not okay with it. I'm like, huh. And then I tried talking to her, but she had already made up her mind, and so there was no turning back. And as I'm talking to my friends, my family, I'm like, these are my people, because with life coaching, you should have a support team. You should have people when you have tough decisions and situations. You should have some people that not just going to tell you what you want to hear, but tell you what you need to hear, and they're going to support you no matter what. And so I started reaching out to my support people, and it's like, you put 25 years in. You've been helping people all your life. That's your mission. That's your calling. You help people. I do artwork also. You help people with your artwork, find joy. You help people with your personal training, with getting healthier, improving their life. And you help people improve their life with your life coaching. And you've done enough time working in that prison system, and you should move on. And we think you're on the right path. And so, and besides that, I say my prayers, and I'm a God-fearing man, and there you go. I was like, I think I'm on the right path, and it just can no longer be with her. And so, yeah.
Now I have to ask you, real quick before we move forward, would you have made the same decision if you knew ahead of time that your wife would have not been on the same page as you?
I would have, yeah. If I didn't know that, if I knew, I would have been like, so what is your thoughts? Like, you want me to hold off for a year, 3 years, 5 years? Like, what? Why would you want me? Because it's gonna happen. I gotta go and help other people outside that prison. I've done 25 years. Did you want me to do another 5 years? Did you want me to wait till like the kids are a little bit older? What's the thoughts? But we never couldn't get to that far. I'm like, yeah, definitely. Before I got divorced, if she's like, if you don't retire, we won't get divorced. I was like, okay, Kyle, I'm gonna keep my families together. And of course, there's more than that. She said it wasn't just retirement; she just was done, and I never really figured out the full story or all the reasons why. But she was done, and I accepted that, and we moved on. We have a pretty good relationship right now, or friendship, I would say. And the time with the kids is pretty much equal. But if either one of us ever say, "Hey, can I have him?" Even though it's not my day, can I have him for a couple hours to do this or whatever? Yeah, it has not been a problem whatsoever.
Hey loves, you can now take advantage of our Clarity Mastermind Starter Kit, which is an online do it at your own pace course, which comes with 4 modules. Now this course right here is for anybody who's truly looking forward and truly serious about starting over and overcoming self-doubt and building their confidence with clarity. And now we also know that clarity loves speed. So if you want to take advantage of this, click on the link in the description of this video, or feel free to comment clarity, and I'll go ahead and send you the link. And as always, thanks for your support. Now back to the podcast. How important do you feel that it is for parents to be able to co-parent when it comes to a divorce or just a separation? Because I feel like it's hard on the children, whether it's a divorce or just a separation, right? How important do you feel that it is for parents to be able to co-parent?
Well, it's crucial. It's crucial for happiness. It's crucial for the children' well-being and their mental health. And when you look at a child, I got my mom that I love to death. I got my dad that I love to death. When I see them fighting and not getting along, it's kind of like, is this my fault? Like, what's going on? And what can they do to help? And it's to, man, to put the kids through it, like I see a lot of parents do, and mostly guys, Mostly guys are like, I cannot stand my baby's mom so much that I'm not in my kid's life. She's making it, and there's so many women that, you know what, you can't see your kids if you can't do this, and because I'm unhappy with me, or because I don't want my kids around your next girlfriend or whatever. And they so many people use the kids uh in the wrong way, and as leverage against the other parent to get what they want, or it's so devastating. So when you can get two people that, despite me and her, we went through a divorce, but we can talk, we can agree to certain things. We don't argue at all. We didn't argue very much, period, but we don't argue at all in front of the kids. And we just like, tell me what your thoughts are. Let's see if this can work. Okay, I have no conflict with it. It's okay. Okay, holidays. So if you get them on Christmas Eve, then I get them on Christmas. If you get them on Thanksgiving, can I have them like the night before? Because that's when my family's doing Thanksgiving. And we just try to make it work. And it's been a few years now, and uh, it's been great. And the kids don't feel like they being tossed into a battle. So they've been able to adjust pretty good.
And that's important, for those out there, anybody that's listening, that is very important. As Coach Darrel has just said, kids, it's not the parents that are really at battle, right? It feels like the kid is stuck in the battlefield. Parents think it's them, when in reality, it's really the child that's stuck in the battlefield. Because parents, at the end of the day, we go back to whether we separate, whatever, you in your home, you do your thing, but the child still is stuck, and like, oh man, well, how, maybe they want to speak to their father and they can't. Maybe they want to speak to their mom and they can't. Or maybe they just want to be at the other one house and they don't know how to verbalize it, right? And them are things that we have to take in consideration. I feel like it's very important, especially when you're coming through into a separation of any kind. Now, you're a life coach, right? So you left your job as you left the prison, you got over that, and now you're a life coach. So talk to the people about where you're stationed at, like where are you located at, and about what kind of programs you offer as your life coaching business. Do you offer master classes, one-on-one classes, group coaching? Just kind of talk to us about that for a little second.
With my life coach, I got my website, darrelstinson.com. And they can always feel free to look on there for some of the free resources I got, and just to see some of the literature I got on there to kind of tell what kind of person I am, and coach I am. Then I have a book with me called It's a Free Call, where if they just had general questions or they want to, like, let me see if this guy is somebody I can work with. So I always have them reach out to me. It's a free call, and we talk. And I say, could I help you? What are your concerns? Okay, let me tell you how my coaching works. Let me tell you the success I've had with people. I have not yet had one person that worked with me that haven't made some kind of gains and achieved some kind of goals. And when I start talking about some of my philosophies, one thing I say, if you put the time and effort into something, you will get the results. And they say, well, I'm not very good at this. And I go, well, how much time have you put into it? Well, not much. How much effort? And it's like, well, not much. And then I say, well, tell me something that you're good at. And they're like, well, I'm good at my job. How long you been there? 20 years. And how many hours? Lots of hours. And then I'm like, now you see why you're good at it. And so I like asking them questions and pointing out things. And then with setting goals, they was like, I've set so many goals, and it's like life gets in the way and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, when you set goals, and I use the analogy GPS. When you set goals, you always know where you're starting. In order to set a goal, you got to know where you want to go. Okay, so let's just say it's financially. I got $5,000 in the bank. I want to get to $10,000 in the bank in my checking or my savings. Okay, hypothetical numbers. I'm at 5. I got to go to 10. Now, with GPS, when you know where you are and where you want to go, there's steps in between to get you there. So now we go back to where you are and go, let's talk about, what do we need to get you 10,000? Well, I need to save more. I need to make more. I need to work on a budget. I probably should get me a financial advisor. I should maybe get me a couple of more streams of income. I should discuss this with my wife or my significant other, and then see how they can help do this too. We should manage money better over the holidays and whatever. And then now they got a game plan. So now we go, all right, you got your bank account. Now you got some that you put in savings. And now you're investing more. Now you got your financial advisor pointing out a couple of more things. And you just keep doing what's on your list. And eventually, yeah, you have that $10,000, probably more, just with that. And the same thing goes with the physical part. You weigh this much, you want to lose this much pound. Now what are we going to do to get there? And then we map it all out just like GPS. So no matter what goal they have, financially, relationally, physically, educationally, because there's people I've worked with some college students, and I help them start working on their work-life balance and getting the grades and finding the right ways to study in. So it's a method that I use, and it's different with each client. And that's why when I work with someone, I'm like, just book the free call with me. Let's just talk. And after we talk, normally with a couple examples, and they hear I talk, and we cater a plan specific to their wants and needs, then they can decide if they want to go further, and we discuss that or not.
Oh, okay. I like that. Say each one is different. And I like, because nobody's the same.
Nobody's the same.
Nobody's the same, and nobody's problem is the same. And now, so what about, is that the same for the what is it, personal training?
The personal training, I because like I said, with whole work-life balance, I put a little focus on the life coaching, so I can reach out, and then just by word of mouth, I've been working out with personal training clients. And the reason why I don't advertise that, I put some of my videos up as I'm working out with a couple of clients and just to share, but I don't really promote that as much because that'll probably take up too much of my time. Like I said, I'm trying to have a balance. Just one or two life coaching clients or and a couple of personal training clients, and then still have time for my art and still have time for my friends and family.
I like that. I love that balance you have in there, like you really can tell that you're very balanced, and you don't want the thing that I hope y'all hearing out here. Now, this is a very successful life coach and personal trainer. And the one thing he's saying is the balance. Take that away. Most of us, we want so much and we give so little, right? That's when in anything, like, most of us want a loving family, but how much effort are we really putting into our family? Right? Most of us want, like how you was talking about, most of us want to be healthy, but how much time are we really spending into getting healthy? Like, are you going to buy Lay's chips every day or donuts every day? Or are you really trying to take time to be healthy? And that's one of the things that I see from you, even when you're on, especially online, because that's where I mostly see you from. Where I only met you one time in person, so I mostly see you online, and I always see the balance. I see you with your kids, I see you doing the fitness, and I see you doing your coaching, and it's always in balance. But the one thing I can tell that trumps them all is family. So before we kind of get up out of here, I want to talk about how you said no matter what, keep moving forward. So can you just kind of tell somebody who may be struggling with, maybe they're going through a divorce and they quite haven't got through it, or maybe they're a single father and they don't know how to quite get through it, or maybe they're a prison guard and they don't know how to keep their mental and get through it, or stay confident through the process. What would you say to those individuals?
First thing first, I would say they got to do what I call a self-evaluation. Take a look at yourself. Is my marriage over because some of the flaws? I was cheating, gambling, drugs. Okay. If it is, then now I got something I can work on. Okay. If I was drinking too much and that was the reason why my marriage was down, now I know what the problem was. I can not drink so much or not drink at all. Fix that flaw. And then now, whether that repair what I had If not, then when the next person comes around, I won't have that flaw, and I'll be a more genuine person that is in a spot where now I can have another healthy relationship without that flaw that I had that ruined my last one. Whether it's cussing too much, whether it's getting fired from job because you don't show up because of the way you live in your life. But when you really need to look at yourself, see what your flaws and your weaknesses are, and then start working on fixing those. I think I'm a pretty good guy, but each day I want to be a better person the next day than I was this day. So today I did all I could. I went by my brother's house, helped him with some things. I had my kids before I went and took them back to their mom. Made a couple of phone calls. I finished up my Christmas shopping for other people. And then now I was like, what time is it? I got to get home for Queen. And I was on this call. And then I'm going to have a little me time. And then I'm start wrapping some gifts and make sure those are all done. And I just keep it moving and keep it moving forward. But yeah, for anybody that's struggling, take a good look at yourself, see what your flaws are. Reach out to your support team because you may not know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So my support team, not just gonna say you're a great person, blah blah. They say, okay, honestly, D, here's what I've seen. This is probably why such and such happened, or this is probably why you're in the position you are. And they're gonna tell me the truth. And they're gonna be real. So reach out to your support team. If you don't have a support team, many don't, then you go out and you find some people that they doing good in life. They're not just going to tell you what you want to hear because that's what you want to hear. They're going to look out for your best interests. And we create our own support team. And if you don't have one, create one. Look at your life, evaluate it. Always try to do something better or be better. And then most areas in your life that you feel you have a weakness in, or that you just want to grow in, do the research, read the book, and grow in that area. So if it's relationships, read some relationship books. There's some excellent books out there. If it's financially, there's some great books that tell you how to financially get in a better situation than you are in. If it's just I don't communicate, I can't express how I'm feeling and what I'm thinking, I can't get out of my mind, then read a book about communicating and expressing yourself, self-expression, whatever. And then on top of reading the books, watch the videos about it. So you can go on YouTube, like how to communicate better, how to be a better father, how to be a better dad, how to get through a divorce. They people that got information out there, whether it's a book or YouTube, and then you got to find the people out there that you can talk to that's been through it. Now, there's guys that have been divorced way before I ever got divorced. I could talk to those guys. There's some guys that had a fight, like I'm trying to see my kid, the mom, and we don't get along, and there's some people that I can listen to. It's like, oh, okay, that's how you did it. Because one I did with my oldest child, it was I had joint custody, but I didn't have joint physical custody. I'm like, I don't know what that means. So when I found out, that means on joint physical custody means I just have my kids. That's fine. Joint physical custody means I physically have them. So today is, let's say, Monday. If Monday is my day to have them, then it'll be against the rules. It'll be, I can actually do something about it. If she did not let me have my kids on Monday. Where just having custody, it don't work like that. So when I learned that, I started telling people, get joint physical custody. It's different than joint custody. Mm-hmm.
Just educated some, so especially a lot of men out there that don't know.
They don't know that. I guarantee you there's guys out there that don't know that. So my kid's 36 now, or will be this month. And once I learned that, I've been telling people that almost every year somebody else different learned that. Joint physical custody.
I've never heard that before.
See?
Like, I've heard of joint custody, but I've never even heard of joint physical custody. That's why I'm like, you're educating even Queen A today, because I didn't even know until you explained it. I'm like, that's interesting. I need to let some people know that.
Right, and I've even gotten on a couple of social media posts and commented, because they like, my kid's mom is turning my kid against me. And I was like, well, if you have them physically and you showing them love and support, and they in your household, they feel your arm and warm embrace, and you sitting there reading and talking with them, playing games with them, and you have them physically in your presence, it's gonna be real hard to say, this guy that just gave me a hug, spend money on me, spend time on me, show me love, came to my game. It's hard for me to believe that person don't love me because of my actions of being present in their life. So I've been on social media, a lot of posts that get active in their life, and then people won't be able to tell them who you are because you'll be able to show them who you are.
That's deep. Because
Mm-hmm.
actions always speak louder than words. That ain't, and people take that term very lightly, but that is a true saying. And a lot of true sayings that we grew up with, we didn't even understand them until we got older. Like, oh, you know what? They've been saying it for so long. That's why they say that. Like they say the truth is stranger than fiction. And most of the time it really is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so just a lot of things. So, and you are truly the definition of what you said. If you want it, go get it. Everything you have been expressing this whole episode has been about if you want it, go get it. And that is a line that you told me that describes you in like one sentence. So before we get up off of here, just tell us about what do you mean by if you want it, go get it. Especially for this, talk to our young men in general, because a lot of young men think, well, they when they think about when if you want something, go get it. They use it in a negative term so much. But you in your life, you have used that term and tweaked it to mean so much more and to mean nothing but positivity. So I just want to hear about you, what that term means to you.
Well, it's one of these questions that's out there that's, and is life fair or not? And a lot of people think life is so unfair, life is so unfair. But then when you look at what's out there, the internet is out there for everybody. Chat GPT is out there for everybody. To go to a library and work on a computer because you don't have one at home, to go work on a computer and they use their resources for free. Oh, actually, it cost me $1, I think $1 a year, to go to the public library and use all their resources for free or for that $1 a year. And there's people that can be doing this, but they're not doing it. To start your own business, you could go through the same steps that I could go through. So it'd be fair for you as it is for me. But some people just aren't out there putting the time and effort in. That's what you got to put the time and effort. Okay. Then you got to stop living the life given to you. And back to the saying, it is what it is. Nah, I'm a life coach, not because it is what it is. I went and got trained. I actually paid for it. I talked to other life coaches and asked them certain things they was doing. And now I'm a life coach. I personally created my website. And it's not because it is what it is. It's I started creating the life that I want and not just living life given to me. And a lot of people be like, they wake up, they go to work, they go to school, they work up, go to work, do the same thing every day, and they don't get any different results. You know what that is. They want things different, but they keep doing the same thing. And so back to the question. Stop living the life given to you and start creating the life that you want to live. Okay? If you want something, you set a goal to get it. And just know, this is where I am. Here's the goal. And of course, I would say, come work with me as a life coach to get you there. Or at least give me a call and say, I will help you write out your action plan. And the action plan is all those steps in between, just like GPS does. It says, turn left here, turn right here, go this far down this road, and then turn again. Okay, so on the fitness plan, let's get you a gym membership. Let's get you a routine that you're gonna work out. Let's get you a workout partner. Let's get you somebody to challenge. On the financial plan, let's get you a financial advisor. Let's get you a bank account. Let's get you making multiple streams of income. What does that look like? And we start creating the life that you want based off whatever you have a conversation with me that you want to improve on. And then lastly, but at least do extra. You'll be so surprised at how far you would go if you just do extra.
Mhm.
At work, do extra. Okay. At home, do extra. In your relationship, do extra. And it just takes you so far.
Do extra. You heard them now. Do extra. Don't do the bare minimum, or don't do just enough. Do extra. I agree with that all the way. I'm telling you. So now I know we have to let the Mr. Darrel Stinson go. He has been so great being on here, and it's been such nothing but a pleasure. Man, for you fitness people out there, I did get a tip for you all. So one of his, I'm gonna tell y'all, one of his power snacks is, he told me, is protein, carbohydrates, and fat. Right? So you got to mix the three if you want to stay fit about that. And before we leave, I'm gonna let him tell y'all where y'all can find him at, what all platforms he's available on. That way, if you want to reach out to him, now I'll tell you this: don't take this lightly. If you are in need of a life coach, if you are ready to go to the next level, please reach out to Mr. Darrel Stinson. Now, you don't have to be in Michigan, right? Tell them you
No,
don't
no,
got to be
no.
in Michigan. Okay, I'm just making sure they know. So you don't have to be in Michigan. It don't matter where you are. So when he says his handles and tell you all where he is, where you can find him at, go follow him, go subscribe to him, go do all that good stuff. As Queen A would say, because like he said, just do it. You never know what even just tips you get. Maybe you're like, okay, I'm not sure if I need a life coach right now. Still, go join and subscribe. You never know. You just never know. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to let him go ahead and take it away and let you all know where you can find him at.
Okay, first off, my website, darrelstinson.com. That's DARRELSTINSON.com. Reach out to me. We can just talk. It don't cost anything. You might just be able to chat with me, and I'll say, you know what? I got some resources for you. I may be able to just give you some resource on time management, the work-life balance, relationship. Maybe just refer some books that I've read that have helped me in certain areas of my life. It could just be that simple. Then on Facebook, DS Life Coaching. I like to throw some pointers out there, a couple of motivational videos, and a couple of tips out there. And I normally do more on that site based off people comments and what they request and ask me for. On Instagram, I'm a goal getter. So that my Instagram is GOAL .getter .academy. So you get on there, and I put videos up there on things that I share that inspire me, or things that I might think inspire others. And then as far as my artwork, if you just want to be inspired or see some of my artwork to get a different feel of some of the other things I do, that's on Facebook. And that is Stinson, STINSON for Darrel, Stinson D _art. And that's on Facebook. And you might want to go there soon, because I am actively doing Detroit Lions painting. So anybody from Michigan would definitely appreciate that. But I do a lot of paintings per request, because if someone asks me to do something, it's probably because it's something they want. And when I can pull it off, I just brought happiness to someone else. So with all that, my coaching, I help people improve their life. With my physical training, I help people improve their life. And with my art, I help people, and I help inspire people to be happier. And so them is just the path I've gone on, and I'm so happy I'm on this path.
And we're just happy to have you here, and more so thankful that you decided to come on, Slapping with Truth, and give us some truth and insight into what it takes to be a great father, what it takes to be a great life coach, what it takes to be a great personal trainer. Because I have been watching you now for, it's been, I believe, like 2 years. And I can tell you, you inspire me daily. because me personally, I have not ever seen a king develop the personality that you have. Like, you have a amazing personality and it's unmatched. And I wouldn't change that for nobody. And you don't change it for nobody. And I'm saying that to say, keep following, your dreams. Keep walking in faith. I put this shirt on because I thought about you and I said that's what you resemble in everything that you do. And I'm glad he mentioned the pains, because I wasn't gonna mention, because I know he got a lot, and he said, he won't do stuff, with on call and stuff. So yes, check out his paintings on them, all them sites as well. And this week we are talking about routines, and if nobody else has exhibited that on this episode, Mr. Stinson has exhibited nothing but routines. Think about it, from him being with his kids, from him being in life coaching. He's always setting a time. He even said he writes time in for himself. That is a routine. That is a routine. You know how disciplined you have to be to do that, to write time in for yourself? Because as a business owner and an entrepreneur and a coach, we know most of us, that's what we lack, writing in time for ourselves. So I appreciate you again for being here. And if nobody else loves y'all, you already know Queen A does. Later. Thank you.